Hi, third graders. Today we're going to continue working on fractions, but we're going to change our focus a little bit. Today we're going to work on fractions of a set, which means we're going to be looking at a group of things and talking about the fractions that they have. You have been working on fractions of a whole, so you've been taking like a circle or a square or rectangle or a number line even and breaking that one thing up into equal parts. But today we're going to look at a group of things or a set of things and look at some fractions with those. So here is what we have. And I think, here we go. So I drew this picture. The title of our board is Fractions of a Set. This little reminder up here is that the numerator is the top number of a fraction and the bottom number is your denominator. So don't forget that. Our question that we're going to start with today is what fraction of the shapes are stars? So all I have to do is look over at the picture and you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, I counted it 2 times just to make sure. There are 8 shapes in all, but they're not all the same shapes. I have some circles and I have some stars over there. So the denominator, that bottom number of our fraction, tells us how many things there are in all. It doesn't matter what the shape is, it just matters that it's there. So I counted 8 things, remember that? So my denominator then is 8 because there are 8 things over there. The top number in my numerator is going to tell me how many stars there are because that was my question. My question was what fraction of the shapes are stars? So now I have to just be a little more specific and only count the stars that are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer to my question, what fraction of the shapes are stars, would be 5/8. 5 is the number of stars there are, and 8 is the number of things there are in all. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so let's look at a new problem together. Our new problem says what fraction of the squares are shaded? So now I have the same thing over there. They're all squares, but some of them are shaded and some of them are not. So I have to focus on the fraction of squares that are shaded. So let's go quick see how many are shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the squares are shaded. And then, so that's my numerator. Remember my denominator, that bottom number in the fraction, tells me how many there are in all. So in all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A dozen. So 7/12 of my squares are shaded. Another way I can kind of say that is 7 out of the 12 squares are shaded. So I want you to remember that numerator kind of answers the question and tells us like how many are shaded or how many are squares or how many are whatever they're asking you. And that bottom number, that denominator, tells you how many things there are in all. So you have to look at everything to figure out that denominator. Okay guys, my next question is a little bit trickier. I threw in an extra word there. I want you to figure out if you can get it. My question says, what fraction of the shapes are not circles? I kind of gave it to you there because I made a little more emphasis on that word. It's not. I threw this word in here because you really have to pay attention if you see that. Because then you're going to do the problem a little bit differently. We still have to go over and count the shapes. We still have to have a numerator and a denominator. Denominator is how many are in all, so let's go get that one first. I'm going to kind of sort in my head as I count the shapes so that I can keep track of them. So I'm going to go with rectangles first. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go to triangles. 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to think circles. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 shapes in all. And my question this time is asking me which fraction of the shapes are not circles. So I hope you're thinking you don't count the circles, because that would be right. We don't count the circles there. So that means we do count every other shape that's over there. So you're going to count the triangles and you're going to count the rectangle. So let's go do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6/10 of the shapes are not circles. Or I could say 6 out of those 10 shapes are not circles. So be careful when you do your Google form today, because I promise you that I did put in at least 2 of the not questions, just to make sure that you're really thinking and paying attention. So you've probably already figured out that today for your assignment, you're going to be doing a Google form. So you don't need to go into Think Central unless you're missing some Think Central assignments. You might want to go in and check. But today you're going to do a Google form, and instead of having you choose a multiple choice answer, you're going to go in and type in your text or your numbers, all right? So I'm going to show you how to do that because we don't have a fancy fraction button. The first thing that's going to happen is when you pop up, when you type in to go answer your Google form, you're going to press in there, and your keyboard will pop up. Here is my keyboard. I'm going to switch it so that it's numbers instead. And the last answer that we worked with was 6/10. So I'm going to type in 6. I'm going to use this little slash right here just above the space bar. I'm going to hit the slash and then tenths. I did not actually press the space bar. You did hear me say it, but I didn't touch it. So that's how I could enter 6/10. If I needed to enter the fraction 3/4, let's say, I would again make sure I'm in my numbers, type the 3, hit that slash, and then the 4. Does that make sense? So that can be read as 3/4. So that you know that you are able to type in a fraction answer on a Google form. Good luck, have fun. If you need help, message one of us. We would love to help you, and talk to you later.